Today we'll discuss about the concept of press freedom. Press freedom means the absence of interferences by the state with press. So if there are any unconstitutional interferences from the state in the media operations, right now we call it encroachment to press freedom. Or very simply you can say press freedom indicates the degree of available freedom enjoyed by the media organizations in a country. And this is very essential because we considered press as our fourth estate, an estate which monitors the other three estates, namely legislature, judiciary and executive. So if press is having optimum freedom, it clearly monitors the other three estates, and through that process we are bringing in a kind of transparency and accountability. There is a non-profit French organization called Reporters Sans Frontières that study the degree of available press freedom in different countries, and annually they publish Press Freedom Index, which communicates to the outside world the amount of press freedom available in a country. So 180 countries are part of that, and our country is ranked very low there. We are having 142nd rank out of 180 countries. Now, why we have a lower rank? Because of the press violations happening in India. There are restrictions on Kashmir. There are prior restraints and post-publication restraints. Prior restraints are restrictions to the media before they publish, and post-publication restraints are restrictions on media after publishing it. So we are not enjoying that much freedom when compared with other countries. So if you look at the Press Freedom Index, the top ranks are taken by the Scandinavian countries, small countries, and there is higher degree of press freedom. The first rank is taken by Norway, then you will find Finland, Sweden. So all these small countries are on the top of the ranking. And you will find on the bottom countries like North Korea, China, Eritrea, Syria. Right. So that is freedom, Press Freedom Index. Before going to the constitutional provisions, we'll see the meaning and scope of press freedom. So I would like to highlight this aspect with the judgment on Indian Express versus Union of India, Justice E.S. Venkatramaya's perspectives. So he elaborates the scope and meaning of press freedom in that judgment. And with press freedom, right now, an individual is able to attain self-fulfillment. It assists in the discovery of truth. It strengthens the capacity of the individual in decision making. It helps in bringing required social change. It helps to develop their own beliefs and communicate them freely to others. So in short, if you have press freedom, if there are no restrictions on the flow of information in the country, it is helping us to achieve self-fulfillment, discovery of truth, making informed decisions. It is helping in societal transformation. It is allowing us to build our own beliefs and communicating the same thing to others. Right. And very simply or pragmatically, what all things comes under this press freedom, or you can simply say the contents of press freedom. Press freedom covers the right to print and publish news. That's obvious. But it is not confined to print and publish news. It also takes care of putting forth views and opinion, not just news, even right now, putting forth views and opinion through your editorial pages, columns and all that. Then it is also about distributing and circulating your publication. It's about the right to collect information, right not to publish news, freedom in the matters of employment, right to refuse advertisement. In short, right now, this press freedom is not confined to printing and publishing news or opinions. It's also about circulation. It's also about the freedom in the matters of employment, refusing advertisement, right concerned with non-publishing news items. All those things are part of press freedom. Now, if you look at our Constitution, Article 19(1) talks about freedom of speech and expression, and this takes care of press freedom. So if you compare with American Constitution right now, they clearly mention press freedom. But here, we are using an umbrella term, speech and expression, that takes care of press freedom. So that is guaranteed in Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution. But this is not an absolute freedom, because it has got reasonable restrictions. That is explained in Article 19(2). So what are the reasonable restrictions to speech and expression? They are security of the state, public order, decency and morality, sovereignty and integrity of the country, friendly relationship with other states, defamation, contempt of court, incitement to an offense. So your freedom of speech and expression should not touch these areas. So in mathematical terms, you can say the amount of freedom you enjoy in India is Article 19(1)(a) minus 19(2). There is another article which again indirectly touch press freedom, that is Article 19(1)(g), that is to practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. So journalism is a profession, so that freedom is also marked in Article 19(1)(g), that is journalism as a profession. Here again, it is not an absolute right. It has got a reasonable restriction that is explained in 19(6), just like the reasonable restriction 19(2) for 19(1)(a). So what are the reasonable restrictions for journalism as a profession? That is, government can impose restrictions on the grounds of public interest. That means when you do journalistic operations, you have to consider public interest. If you're violating that principle, right now, it is illegal in the country. Then there is one more article, that is Article 361(a), that is for protection of publication of proceedings of Parliament. So if a journalist is covering the parliamentary proceedings, they are immune to criminal and civil proceedings when they are covering the parliamentary proceedings. That means there cannot be any civil or criminal charges against journalists who are covering the parliament, and if they are doing that thing in a substantially true manner with the authorities of the parliament. Here both the union parliament and state legislatures are taken care of. That means no reporters who are covering the proceedings in state legislature, state legislative council or parliament, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, they are having this kind of immunity. So there cannot be any civil or criminal proceedings against them if they are doing the operations in a substantially true manner and again with the authority of the Parliament. So that protection is explained in Article 361(a). But during the time of emergency, these things are not what they call practiced. That means they don't have any constitutional immunity, because the whole Article 19 will be suspended during the time of emergency. Hope you have got an idea about the concept of press freedom.